All right, so now we're going to try to work through describing the solution's information needs, users, sources, and constitution of at least part of the solution. See section 9 4a. So what this is referring to is the section in the textbook about conceptual design. So I'll just go through some of the key parts here. I'm actually not going to read it. I might read out some portions. Conceptual design is the first stage in the database design project. Design a database independent of software. So just the idea of it. So it's going to have the main data entities, that's what we need to do, attributes, relationships, constraints, and a given problem domain. So we're basically creating a draw.io ERD, entity relationship. So we need to somehow create the database structure that represents real-world business rules. Oops. And just try to keep the minimal data rules, so not include unneeded data. I do not know what that would be at this point. Data analysis, here it is. Data analysis and requirements, ERD modeling and normalization, data model verification, and distributed database design. Let's see. So we need to figure out the information needs. What kind of information do we need? Who will use the information, and where will the information be found? And information constitution, I have never heard of this. What data elements are needed to produce information? What are the data attributes? What are the relationships? Volume. How frequently is the data used? What transformations will be used to generate the information? So this is where you gather data from what the end user would want. In this case, we're doing whatever the challenge wants. We don't have any current system. The designer must have a thorough understanding of the company's data types and their extent and uses. The collection of data only becomes meaningful only when business rules are defined. Remember in Chapter 2, Data Models, that a business rule is a brief and concise description of a policy, procedure, or principle within a specific organization environment. Okay, I'm going to go into this in detail later, and for now I'm going to pull this to the side and begin working on a diagram. So let's see. This will be conceptual model. There we go. The conceptual model of healthcare data analysis. All right, so let's go back. I'm gonna, on my other screen here, I'm going through the textbook. So we need to create a conceptual design, minimal data rule. Discover the characteristics of the data elements. We need to figure out what the information needs are. What reports or queries must be generated? Who will use the information? So what kind of information would be needed? If I go back to the challenge page, I do not know where it was. There it is. And let's just go and see what kind of data resources they want us to use. So they actually give us the data that we need to use. We just need to figure out how we're going to use this in a report. So let's start at the top. And I'm going to choose, sure, let's go with Alabama. And for Alabama, we're going to go with, let's go with employment. Screw it. Oh, wow. Oh wait, they're PDFs. Do they have a CSV version? So they got a public data API. Okay. So we can receive data in JSON format. Okay, so they seem to know exactly what they're pulling for right here. In our case, for this project, we're not going to go into actually coding all this. We just need to figure out what data needs to be in the database, and we can figure out how to get it later. Consumer price index. Let's see. Wow. I don't know what that means though. consumer price index for all urban customers. So what's going on here? It's not loading. Ah. Did it freeze? I think it froze. For our project, or for like the real project, we're not going to want to use flat files. I think flat files are great when you're just planning and doing a small project, but for the actual application, it'll definitely need to be the API. This gives us a good idea. So occupation code, occupation title, level, employment, and I'm guessing, is this by, it's for Huntsville, Alabama. Okay. This will be a fun thing to play with. So, without going deep into the rabbit hole, let's go ahead and go back to what the challenge was asking for. Come up with a basic idea of what we need. So we need to describe the solutions, information needs, users. Let's start easy and talk about users. So let's create I have never created like a users chart. What would be the best thing to do for this? Advanced. I think I'm just going to go with regular old-fashioned ER, entity relation. So users, these would be government analysts, healthcare providers, they would actually be the actual people on the front lines, so the emergency personnel. Or not the emergency. The emergency services employees, I guess. Something along those lines, because I don't think you're going to actually expect a firefighter to be pushing data out and stuff like that. Who else would be a user? Let's see. What does the project say? So the project says Who is actually, so the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So these people. Okay. Let's just watch the video.
Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. The social determinants of health challenge.
There is a compelling need for a deeper understanding of population-level behavior and societal factors that can affect a patient's health. To provide coordinated whole-person care, having access to these social determinants of health would give us a good picture of those factors. However, these data come from diverse sources, often in varying formats. Therefore, there is a need for a better way to visualize and array the information. Today, I'm announcing ARC's newest challenge competition, the Visualization Resources of Community-Level Social Determinants of Health. Using free, publicly available data, challenge participants will develop innovative tools to help ARC and public-private sector organizations improve their understanding of social determinants and address unmet community health.
Okay, so this is for private sector health firms too. There we go.
Health services delivery needs. The challenge is structured in two phases, with a total prize pool of $220,000. In phase 1, participants will submit concept, abstracts, and prototype designs of data visualization methods. Up to 12 semifinalists will receive $10,000 each based on the merits of their proposals. In phase 2, the semifinalists will develop proofs of concept that clearly demonstrate value for users, which will be judged
We're
by
going to be working on part 1.
One grand prize winner will win $50,000. Up to $35,000 will be awarded to the second place winner, and up to $15,000 will be awarded to the third place winner. Now, this is an exciting and unique public-private partnership and an opportunity for patients to improve their understanding of social determinants, the available data information. Today, I'm announcing ARC's newest challenge competition, the Visualization Resources of Community-Level Social Determinants of Health. Using free, publicly available data, challenge participants will develop innovative tools to help ARC and public-private sector organizations improve their understanding of social determinants and address.
So that's very vague still. All we need to do is help them. All we are is developing a tool to help better understand publicly available data. It's just a data analytics challenge. Or a tool to automate it. Government analysts, healthcare providers, private sector healthcare analysts, emergency services employees, they'd need to interact with the data. Who else would? This isn't necessarily a company. I can't think of anyone else. Let's go ahead and log in. Save it, and let's go back to the team project. Okay, so we got the users, sources. This is really easy. So BLS. They literally give it to us, they hand it to us on a silver platter. Data examples. I think the BLS is a great one. There we go. I'm going to pause this. You don't need to see me copy all this. So now we got the sources. Going back, constitution of at least part of the solution. So I think we developed that in the previous one where I was in code editor. Reopen that back up and read it. So I will go over all that when I go back to class and ask him what he means by constitution of the problem. Oh, actually, let me go back to the textbook. The textbook probably has something on the Constitution. So I think I have just about everything. User sources and constitution of at least part of the solution was found, was pretty much defined in the README on the GitHub page. So for now, I think that this should do. Yeah, this should do for that part. All right, see you in the next video.